Hi all, welcome back YouTubers to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're following me to my channel today, I'm AspieAnswersAll, well I'm known as Aspie for many of years. I want to thank you all for your support so far, for the ones that has been with me through this journey of my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. In today's vlog, however, I want to share basically the second part to what I believe in that needs to be addressed to my part of the channel of an everyday life after an Aspie, which is part 2, what's the future going to be like for autistics. I'm going to return a response from the one that has actually answered to my question based on this topic that I'm going to address to you all today, and his name is Steven, always known as Tostemac basically, and I've been following on his channel about some of his idealistic ways and thinking of the world of being an autistic and his way of how he goes about living his life every day, and just normal everyday topics that may be important and close to our hearts to share with you all of living life as an autistic. So, and all further ado, guys, just to let you know, the links to his channel of YouTube and everything else will be in the description box below. I want to also, before I begin this, want to thank him basically for taking the time out of his day to actually answer that very question of what the future will be like for autistics, however. And also just bear in mind that when I'm going to share this topic, it's just going to be a bit of closure, and it's just strictly my opinion on how I'm looking about what life is going to be like, or shall we say the future is going to be like for us autistics in some parts of the topics that's going to be broken into. Okay, let's be real and honest here. I can't have all the answers right now by the snap of my fingers. I'm going to just base it on my life experiences from what I have researched and what I know close to my heart based on these topics at hand on this today. And like I said, basically, before I continue on to this though, however, I want to just, share some things before I break it into it. So now I'm going to just break down now the first part of it, which is the terminology of autism. As some people know though, however, let's begin this now, that we know that some people on the community sites that I'm on, through Facebook and everywhere else, they'll have their different idealistic ways of what autism, autistic and all that is, differentiated as well as maybe people that ain't autistic, or as I've clearly shared with you all when I first started the channel, I decided to call you guys neurotypicals or ENTs, people that doesn't have autism. So please don't take an offense to how I'm describing you guys and everything else. This is just how, I come across with you all, hopefully, as I come along a way and sharing what's on my mind. But when I have been, however, on these Facebook community sites, be it Autistic Holistic Alliances groups and the autism, groups that are based in New Zealand and worldwide, however, basically, some people would like to be preferred to be called, autistic. Some might prefer people with autism. People may want to call themselves, for me especially, people like Aspergerism, or Aspie. Everybody has their differentiations on their uptake of how they want to be called. However, there's a few people, or majority, shall I say, of people in the community that I'm in with prefers the term to be called autistic for many reasons that are controversial. However, it has been, raised in certain topics in conversations that we've been sharing in our personal community groups, however, to how we want to be preferred to be called. Many autistics, as far as I'm aware, and basically understand right now, has expressed their views of their preference to the word of autism, autistics, and the like, to be used as both adjective and basically a form of a noun. But on the other hand, however, people like me who has Asperger's syndrome rather want to be called maybe Aspergian or Aspie. I don't know, I could be wrong, but please feel free to comment below for the ones that are autistic and are similar like me in the way of how I'm addressing this. Others again, however, will be like to be called autistics as well as a part and seeing themselves collectively as autistics as a whole, as they may prefer to see themselves as part of one collective, spectrum, rather than having a condition that's different or separable from autism in itself. There are, however, that has been preferring to think of the extreme functioning issues in autism rather than seeing it basically as either a culture or cure. Okay, now the topic now to break it down further to get a better understanding to what I'm addressing to this is autistic community and politics, but more on this uptake will be sharing more in depth, but I'm just going to quickly share this as well as another one before I continue on my thoughts and processes of my idealistic way of seeing the future for autistics. Okay, autistics and community and politics. Let's begin this. Although it has been fairly controversial topic, obviously, of curing autism. There has been many different people in the community that I've been in, basically, will have their different stands and obviously different viewpoints to what it's all about of, curing autism or not. There'll be some that be in different strands in my community of the autistic community that they say that they want to seek help or for some form of cure, and on the other scale, some do not, however. Sometimes also this has been dubbed by the term of the word pro-cure, which I mean here is others on the other hand doesn't seem to seek a reason or a cure, okay, or even just a desire of a cure for autism, like many other mental health disorders I have shared already on my pieces, because they point out that autism is a way of life, a way of living rather than a disease. There are the ones that are sometimes dubbed for anti-cures as well. So therefore, as I said before, I'm going to share with you, and hopefully one of my videos that I'm trying to hopefully share with my open opinion and experiences about Asperger's syndrome, illness or disability. I'll hopefully bring that out for you if you're interested in my view and uptake on this. So feel free to stay tuned on that in the next few weeks when I hopefully will let you guys know on my social media sites when this is about to happen. Again, okay, just quickly is the autistic culture and misconceptions about, being an autistic, but the misconceptions about being autistic, I'll just say now, will be hopefully in the next few video pieces. But this one's just real brief about the autistic culture in today's, society. As we know, there is now a high increase in awareness and the recognition of autism and obviously new approaches in educating and socializing that is in that autistic culture that has now begun to develop. Similar to the deaf culture, however, in the autistic culture I want to share is now based on as more of an accepting belief and value for us that autism is a unique way of being and not a disorder or not to be cured, Anyway, again, just to bear in mind before I continue on, this is opinion based on what I believe and think, based on my life experiences and what I've heard, experienced, and more. Okay, I did a topic on this as part one, as I shared briefly, that I covered most of the areas for the future of autistics that covered in the areas of education, work, health, community services, and more. I'll link this to this video in retrospect, basically, for you all in this one, if you would like. But I'll look into more of this opinion based if I have to soon. Again, feel free to comment below, obviously, to open up for discussion. If I missed out on anything, again, you guys are welcome to your own opinions. I'm not here to judge or, prejudge you guys. We're here to agree to disagree or whatever the case may be. As you know that you guys are all entitled for your own opinions and free to share your thoughts below. Alright, back to the question at hand. What does the future hold for autistics or for people with autism? This is broad, yet I'll go over a few ideas, theories, topics, and more in depth now to my knowledge and interest and understanding of this. But before I do, as I said, the terminology. So basically now is the education and workforce for autistics alike. Now, this is a well-known and given fact, however, that, there are more people being born with autism every year. As a result, however, that there are now more awareness, understanding, exposure about autism than ever before. Also, however, thanks to the social medias, advertisements, research that has been done, as well as for certain platforms allowing for many of us that does have autism and more to share life experiences, life stories, and more to others abroad. as well as also with the help of the social media sites, advertising research, also with these social media platforms involved, basically being able to open up and invite others to our lives with the other health topics that we may go through, you know, in our lives with it, of our personal journey, whatever it may be. We are now aware in our own understandings, basically, that we're not a minority form of a group now. We are coming up in large numbers to become as part of a norm in schools and workplaces, regardless where we are, however, for being autistic or whatever the case may be. In schools, there's a few more attention that is being drawn with the ones that has special needs and what forms or type it may be. For example, people with ADHD as well as ADD. There's some with basically Down syndrome and the like that is getting their needs met one way or another. There are starting to be more services and community interests and opportunities for most of us with special needs that are arising than ever before to cater to what particular need we have to actually, help us to succeed in our life and achieve the goals, dreams, visions, and more that we have in our lives to become more achievable and desirable to that particular workforce, or just desirable for our own self to what we want to believe in and achieve in. Okay, for the services, however, services for people with autism are starting to become more and more readily available here where I am in New Zealand, but obviously they are still needing more government funding and research based on this, even though I know where I'm at, based in the Wellington region, there are some around. So the ones that I can think of right now that are available here in New Zealand is Autism New Zealand, Parent to Parent, pretty much New Zealand autism groups around New Zealand, Altogether New Zealand, Autism New Zealand, I say, IHC New Zealand, Hopeworks Foundation New Zealand, and many more that I'm discussing will be linked, and hopefully if you need to know more, in the description below with the contact information and maybe some sites that will be readily available for you to actually do your research on, that are available here in New Zealand, basically, especially so that you can find some medical professional team to help you along the way. Also, there has been a few support systems that has been put in place in New Zealand. There's still a long way to go, as I just mentioned before, with the help of the government, the small communities around New Zealand versus basically the health sectors and all that to come into play. But it is getting better. I'll admit with that there are certain services that we can actually reach out to, person to person, as well as depending on the schools in question to what, Okay, look in discrimination, questioning what about the, world of work for autistics, right? Well, after doing a few job experiences and placements myself during my years of study through high school through to Polytech, basically, as well as after finding out that I've got the word Asperger's syndrome, or AS, when I was 16, going on 17. I felt there wasn't that much discrimination. I could be wrong, but many people didn't realize at the time. Obviously, I kept to myself to just do the best I can, in my day of living, of just socializing on the world around me. I didn't mention much about me being, having Asperger's syndrome or AS for many reasons, personal reasons. Many people may agree to disagree or what have you in this to how they feel and think about it, but to me, my personal reasoning behind it was, what would others think and whatnot, even though there needs to be more awareness one way or another. I couldn't tell people that I had Asperger's syndrome despite being different in a way of my different way of thinking, how I act, speak, and everything else around me, even though many people, look at me strangely thinking she's odd, strange, and what have you, but it's okay, as I said, to be different, obviously. I believe that in my own retrospect. Many people wouldn't be aware of my condition until recently. Now I've actually opened up more about, me as a person as a whole, how I work around basically being autistic and whatnot. Not many people I've met out on the street, or even maybe now while I've been deciding to open up more on the social media here platform on YouTube, would have, thought of me having AS again due to my decision of making that stand and actually share my stories and whatever else it may be. I didn't see much discrimination in a way in schools because obviously I was treated as much as the same as many people around me, regardless of me being in the, learning support system for a few weeks before deciding, when I was where I was, when I showed you guys my video where I was on my stumbling ground and living basically here in New Zealand, of the school, of finding out where I was at and, what advancements and support I needed for myself, regardless what it is. In my humble and honest personal opinion, I think that today people with autism has a lot more to offer and bring to the table regardless of their skills, into educating others in a way of full-time work as well as their skills, as well as also, even though with the companies at hand, many of us autistics are known for our characteristic labels of being an entrepreneur, being a leader, being able to speak our mind, being innovators, and imaginative, creative in our own retrospect. There are a lot of common companies today that are now hiring us autistics, however, like Microsoft, Ford, and the like. Many companies in a way of obviously looking into hiring people that are autistics, however, due to their talents and skills that they're interested in looking for. Okay, more on the school and workforce though. In terms of going to school or getting a job, this is a great time for someone who has autism than ever before, however, I believe. Because now they're being more accepted and included in some everyday activities, but it's still a long way to go for some people that are showing away that are autistic. They feel that they might be discriminated and whatnot. No pressure there for those ones. There are more obviously doors opening up for us in the way of opportunities, as well as more opening doors to hopefully, overcome our fear of, not being accepted as a whole in the community of not just being an autistic, but just as a whole as a person, obviously. And obviously many people will be questioning right now in the next part of the topic, discrimination. What about it? Good question. Is there going to be more or less of this in the future? An honest opinion, I can't really wave the magic wand and say, go away discrimination. I will be there regardless, which is a sad and honest fact. Even though I may not have the honest, real answers here, but it will still be there and be existent to some point. Why, you may be questioning. Just hear me out while I'm going to say this to you while I'm sharing my thoughts and opinions. When we're being more connected than ever before, another question will be thrown at me, why now when we're coming to a better place of understanding and acceptance, and more. Again, let's be real and honest and true here and bring out the real facts to you to understand that we're at a different place and we're all different. And some people don't, like us for being different for many reasons. People may not like change either, regardless what it may be. We're all different in terms of different walks of life, different life experiences, different life lessons that has been learnt in our everyday life, regardless what it may be, different values and beliefs and values and morals that has been set concrete and instilled in us, and some of us may still carry some of those to this day. This isn't the end of the world, however. Many maybe think it's doom and gloom. Or for another fact, it doesn't mean there is going to be nothing more to be done about it. We need to be, sure to just make a change somewhere along the way. For sure, we need to change and adjust to a lot of different ideas, conceptions that is being put into place, etc. It's just a matter of accepting each other's differences, however, I believe. Simple thing is you can do is to have at least one open set mind and stay true to yourself and your way of your beliefs, values, morals, and more. But don't be forever afraid to meet new people along the way. Learn more about them. Learn about them in a way of who and what they are and what makes them tick, what makes them as a person as a whole. Acceptance, I believe, is key. Thing to remember is this: when we begin to accept ourselves and reach, and each other, however, then rather just go on and judge and assume on that particular someone that is different, that, despite that hearsay example as I shared in one of my videos, is just because someone has a different condition, also not disability, doesn't mean that they're forever stupid, dumb, whatever it may be. I believe that this and more will be a way to stop discrimination. So again, I can't stress it enough, acceptance is key for people that are different. On the other hand, I want to break down to you is humanity. Let's look at this as a whole. What role would someone with autism in the near future will play in this word of humanity? There has been many ideas, thoughts, concepts, ideals, and more on this, as well as the understanding behind this question, of autism. The next step to human evolution, I'm meaning. If you're meaning right now in the present, there's no further change or explanation basically in the way of human evolution. Okay, before you go up in arms and start thinking you're wrong, whatever you're thinking right now, okay, just give me a minute to actually let me explain it to you, what I think and feel about this word humanity and human evolution put together. I'm thinking about it at a stage which many autistics right now are still struggling basically with, and that is the socialization aspect of human evolution, along with the stage and human, ending of it that surpasses and encompasses these previous stages into the point of every way possible and every aspect possible that needs to be addressed. I mean, yes, it's true, again, that many people with autism and the like are creative, imaginative, they can be talented in their own hidden traits, whatever it may be, and more, depending on what level I think in their terms of I can't stress it enough anyhow. They are more efficient, they're more efficient enough than to the normal entities, how I call you guys, in the way of problem solving, entrepreneurship, innovating, and more. The biggest area, as I said, what we're struggling with here with some of us autistics, not all, again, is socialization skills. Yes, it may seem some to be basic and easy to some, but as we know that social skills is a real big necessity in all our lives. I'm not meaning phoning and texting every person that we can think of, but many of the times it's just being around people that we can in the big world around us, to meet and greet people. Reasons to be able to connect and interact, obviously the importance of socialization skills, to be able to read people's body language in the real world, being able to know the cues and more, etc. Learning the social norms, ideas of passion, hate, etc. is obviously based on feelings and the role of human evolution of what makes people tick. I've already shared my story, however, on socialization. Basically, feel free to check it out. To end this video, however, I would like to say about the future for autistics. However, it's looking exciting and brighter for us, even though it can be scary for many of us autistics, even though we need to take it in our hands and actually accept these differences of what's going to happen. Whether it's going to be, school, work, humanity, socialization, and more of what I've included in this topic. People are now starting to obviously accept us and include us with autism without having to worry about discrimination. Yet there is still one more day, so many days to come that many autistics will learn more about socialization and the skills that's involved with socializing. This could be the next stage of human evolution, however, I believe. I'll leave it here for now for you to think of, or just to, open up for discussion below for the NTs versus the autistics I like. Thanks for watching and your support, however. Feel free to share this video, or, as I said, discuss your thoughts, ideas, and whatever below. Sub to my channel if you haven't done so. Feel free to also basically share this video around to family and friends and an eye opener or whatever purpose it may be. Feel free to follow me on the social media sites below. Do what you love what you do, sort of thing. Aspie signing out for now and have a great day.